Hey guys, welcome back to Salt and Pepper Gaming.
In this episode, we're going to be looking at some of the worst consoles ever made.
Whoa! Let's go. Well, Jay's been collecting for over 30 years.
That's right.
And you've acquired some of the most incredible looking consoles, right? But some of the worst consoles ever made, hey?
That's right. The first console we're going to be looking at today is the Milton Bradley Vectrex.
Come on, as if that wasn't on your list.
That's right.
I've never heard of it.
It just rolls off the tongue.
Introducing the revolutionary Vectrex arcade system. No TV set needed. Instead, Vectrex has a real arcade screen built in. So compare. Discover how Vectrex brings real arcade play home.
Kaboom!
So, this is it. And this is the world's only console that's blocking my shot. This is the world's first and only console that actually had the screen built in to the machine. And the reason they used this screen is because they used a technology called vector display. Back in the late 70s and early 80s, you had two types. You had raster, which uses little pixels.
Yeah, man.
And you had vector, which used lines drawn on a screen.
So what I like about this, Jay, is that you can obviously grab these for different games. They made these for different games.
Yeah, so when you got a box with the game in it, and these are the game cartridges, that's actually Scramble, which belongs to this insert. They came in a really large box, which could hold the insert in the box as well, and the insert added colour to what was basically a black and white screen, and it really enhanced the quality of what you were playing. So Atari were making video games like Asteroids.
You bet your asteroids.
And Tempest, which used vector graphics. Ooh, and it allowed really crisp, bright displays to be recreated. This company had access to some of the very early screen technology, and they found a 9-inch screen that could be used into a arcade machine, so they built one and then sold it to Milton Bradley.
God, imagine getting this delivered to your home.
Back in the day in the US, it was $199, which is around $300 here. And in the Christmas of 1982, it sold really, really well.
Wow.
It got caught up in the great video game crash of 1983, where the North American market imploded, and that was a lot to do with how Atari were marketing their games. Milton Bradley got caught up with the aftermath of that, and they lost around $30 million.
Wow.
And within a year, they cancelled the machine.
Well, the second console we're going to look at that failed is the Nintendo Virtual Boy. Yes, you heard me right. Nintendo brought out a console that looks just like this. There's no accessory, it's a console. And it was a flop, but we love it. The Virtual Boy is a 32-bit tabletop portable video game console developed by Nintendo, often cited as the first console to be capable of stereoscopic 3D effects. We need to set the scene to understand the timing of this product.
So ladies and gentlemen, strap yourself in, grab a cup of tea, and let's listen to the unofficial gaming historian.
So in the mid-1980s, there was a company called Reflection Technology. They had developed a red LED display that could be used to create 3D images. It projected a 3D image using red LCD display tech. At the time, the word virtual reality had become a big buzzword and was very exciting. The Virtual Boy spent 4 years in development. Even so, the unit was rushed to market in an unfinished state.
We've played this game a little bit at Jay's house. It is a little bit uncomfortable trying to play this at a table, because you're obviously having to hunch over while playing the game, so it's not really comfortable to play for a long period of time.
It feels like I'm there.
It was released in 1995. After the PlayStation Sega Saturn, it was so much more to spend than buying a Game Boy, and the unit struggled to find its place. It failed to catch the imagination and interest of the gaming public, and Nintendo quietly discontinued it 1 year later. It only sold 770,000 units, the only Nintendo console to sell less than 1 million units.
These are one of the few consoles that weren't released in the PAL region, so for us Australians, we never got a copy of this.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Unless you wanted to pay a lot for shipping, then you could get one for a bit of money.
Yeah, but you can pick up these now for about, what, $400-500?
In this state,
In this state, or box for $1,000. So, you know what, we're happy to receive this as a gift from you, Jay, yet again.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
I've got it on camera, so...
You're our witness.
So the third console on the list is the Atari Jaguar.
That was a terrible growl.
That's why it failed.
This is an interesting story. A console caught between two generations.
That's right, Pabs. It was caught between the Super Nintendo and the Mega Drive, and what was going to be the upcoming PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn. The Jaguar came out just at the wrong time between those two generations. Atari released the Jaguar in 1993 to a world that was really excited for what this console had to offer. They jumped to a technology around 64-bit architecture, way before Nintendo 64 came out, but also they used cartridge technology. It was a powerful system, but it didn't have the specialized 3D performance of the Sony PS1 graphics chipset, which came out just 18 months later. The controller was also not designed for 3D games the way the Nintendo analog stick worked on the N64. One of the reasons I was really excited for the Atari Jaguar was they announced that a version of Doom would be released for it. At that stage you needed to buy a $3,000 PC to play Doom properly.
That's
and
not
no, it's not.
That's
And
bargain.
the Jaguar could operate in 65,000 colour mode.
You met one of the creators from Doom, is that right, Jay, I believe?
I have.
Yeah.
Who did you meet?
Good interruption and segue.
Thank you.
I had the chance to meet John Romero at E3 in around 2001.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah,
cool.
that was pretty cool.
And he's the creator of Doom.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
Co-creator.
One of them.
Co-creator,
Yeah,
nice.
So in the end, Atari only sold 250,000 copies
Ah,
of the Jaguar.
That's not a lot, eh?
It's not a lot. It was a good machine, but it came out at just the wrong time when people started to save up for a PlayStation 1 or a Sega Saturn.
And to show how bad that is, you put in perspective that the Super Nintendo sold over 50 million worldwide, and the PS1 sold over 100. Even the Sega Mega Drive sold over 30 million units.
Wow.
Shows how bad, I guess, the Jaguar sold.
So you can pick up one of these for $700 right now in the US. The CD-ROM version is about $1,200. So it's as cool that you have it boxed as well. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so sweet. Thank you, Jay, again for showing us some awesome consoles. Even though they failed, it's still pretty sweet to have a look at some of these from the 80s and 90s.
This is why it failed. Look at the size of this thing. It's like an Xbox.
You needed big hands, Sal.
So thanks, guys, for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe, hit that like button, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.